Yo,
Hello,
Laurent.
CJ.
Oh shit.
Oh, sorry.
You're messing up the order, fam. Come on.
Oh, my bad.
But yeah, man, how are you? Since you greeted me, I have to greet you back,
Oh, I'm copacetic. I'm lovely.
Shit, that was a big word, bro. What did you say?
Copacetic.
Damn, I'll put that one in my back pocket. Laurent, you heard of that one before?
Yeah, no, actually, from two press conferences ago, Liam Rose Senior did use that exact word when describing the sentiment at the bridge. So that one's
Uh
yeah, that one's in
I-
the vocabulary.
Is that the same vocabulary he's gonna use after he loses tomorrow?
Well, honestly, man, I don't, listen. Well,
oh,
I'll give you guys my
speechless.
prediction from now. For this game, I'm going with a draw. That's what I'm going for. As for the tie. I mean, the ball's in your court, right? And we'll see, bro. We'll see if Adama Traore woke up something in João Pedro, Cucurella.
Getting
Um,
tossed like a rag doll, running away like a little bitch.
hey, man, listen. All I can say is we were there for it, and we got out 3 points, right? So that's all that matters. And yeah, man, we'll show that same grit when we face you guys. So I hope you guys are ready.
I don't know, CJ. Do you know what grit he's talking about? Because all I saw is a man with his tail between his legs and another one getting tossed like a rag doll.
uh yo, are we cutting Laurent some slack today because he's under the weather or not?
Fuck no. If anyone has any excuse to be under that weather, yo, I had the wildest 48 hours. You guys blessed me to wait for me to record. And fuck no. Why the fuck would we cut Laurent some slack? The hell?
Yeah, that's what I want to
No,
hear,
I'm
man.
joking. I'm joking. Joke.
That's
It's
what
okay. We won't. You don't need the bulletproof vest. I'm sorry, Laurent. I'll be nice. I'm sorry.
Well,
All right.
listen, the reason why I wanted to start recording a little bit early, is because I just wanted to remind everybody that Laurent is top of the leaderboard.
Uh,
And
Thank you.
I wanted to say that at one point, Laurent was what, 6 points behind above me and
Eight. I
Merdad?
think. I think the max was eight.
Yeah. And I do want to, not to rain on your parade, but I'm about to rain on your parade a little bit and say that if, I knew that it was possible for that sort of comeback, or if either myself or Murda were taking this a little bit more seriously, there's no way we would have allowed for that sort of comeback. I'm just putting that out there. But because, you
Ha!
know, you started taking this
Ha!
serious and being
Ha!
competitive,
Ha!
we thought we would come to the party as well.
Yo,
Because I promise you, there's
this
no way if
is
I was actually starting to like pay
cold.
attention to results, I would not
That
have allowed a 6 point overturn. I can't. I gotta be
that
honest.
is fucking gold, bro. Like that
There's
is
no
gold.
way.
Listen, I wasn't even trying to talk this much on this pod, but now I gotta speak
We
my
got him,
shit.
Murdad. We got him.
Now we got them all fucked up. He's like, these
So
motherfuckers are talking about my chance at a Chelsea kit.
wait. So wait, at which point, did you start letting these points slide here and there? Because
Oh, you want to go back to that? It was the
no, no,
Man
no.
United game, Man United
Okay, and
Wolves.
and that's one point. That's one
I
point.
did it two times, my friend.
I don't remember you doing that twice.
CJ,
He did. He did. To be fair, he
All right,
gave
that's
me
still
two
two
easy
point.
ones.
You still have 57. You see what I'm saying?
57 versus 55.
Oh my gosh. And then, but as for you, CJ, listen, you're the guy that takes like a whole Jeopardy episode to pick a prediction. So I know you're not gonna talk about yeah, because you have the most focus out of all of us here when we're making these predictions. All right, so nice try,
Yo,
bro.
CJ, did you bring your bulletproof vest? I didn't realize we needed it.
I was just trying to, he's been under the weather. I'm just trying to stir him up. He's trying to clear his sinuses a bit, and it seems like it worked. Because the man is all fired up now. So
Hey
I
man,
didn't come with a bulletproof vest because I didn't think he was gonna fire back.
I
That's
will
why I
say
didn't
this
allow
though.
it.
I will say this. is I've been inspired. I've been inspired because I've seen what adapting in real time can do.
Mm.
Right? So it's not a coincidence that I've taken over the leaderboard just when our new manager has taken over as officially Chelsea manager as of
Laurent,
today.
serious question though. Serious
Mm,
question.
mm,
Serious question. And I hope you answer this question honestly. I
hmm
really hope you answer this question honestly. What Adama Traore did to Kukurea and how he proceeded to stomp towards Jao Pedro. You have to admit, Jao Pedro pissed his pants as he was backpedaling, waiting for reinforcements.
uh,
Yo, you know what makes it even more dramatic? The fact that you said he stomped towards him.
Yo, you saw this grown ass man just whoo,
yeah,
Oh.
and
that's
if hold
crazy,
on
bro.
before you respond, if you're listening to this or watching this and you haven't seen Adama Traore toss Kukurea like a piece of meat, yo, stay away from steroids. Fuck, I'm
uh,
cramping.
no, that was definitely a highlight of the weekend for sure, for sure.
Okay,
Um,
but will you admit, Jao Pedro had his tails between his leg after he shoved him from behind like a little bitch.
I mean, bro, what was he supposed to do? You know what I mean? Like you
Stand your
definitely.
fucking ground. You shove him from behind. You stand your ground, whether you get eaten alive or not.
Oh no, 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 sorry. I thought you meant with the shoving from behind, right? Obviously, yeah. Like, bro, if you see your guy get tossed like that, right? You have to, like shove him from behind. And yeah, he did do a little, one of those when the Spanish bull riders when they have the red
Right.
drape
Yeah.
and then the bull comes and then you kind of just do like a little sidestep to kind of get out of the way, right? Yeah, that's
No, no, no. You gotta have balls if you want to be one of those people. No, no, no. Jao Pedro was like that little bully. Talks the talk, attacks you from behind, and then when the kid turns around, he runs away with his tail between his legs, waiting for reinforcements.
at the end of the day, bro. João Pedro was in the mix. Let's get that clear, because after that, right? He still had people coming for him. I think what was his name, Todibo or Togibo, right?
That's the one who
Yeah,
got sent off, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah,
That man draped him up too, bro.
yeah. So, bro, João Pedro stood his ground, and hey, man, you see, under Maresca, yo, there could have been a red card for one of us. You see what I'm saying? But look who got
Oh my
penalized.
gosh.
Tell me, right? Look who got penalized. In this situation, you had the lap on the pitch, right? You had Caicedo
Ain't
there, and
ain't
look
nobody
and
want to
look who,
fuck with Traore. That's the thing, though. Ain't nobody trying to fuck with
bro.
Traore.
No, no, no. Chalobah was in there. I don't know if you've seen that, but
Yeah,
Chalobah
I
was
did see
giving,
that Chalaba ran
yeah,
across, but as soon as Traore started pushing him, Chalaba went to the back.
nah, man. Listen, bro. At the
Yo,
end of the day, what
Traore
matters
had
is,
his fucking hand mixer and he's ready. He's like, which one of these bitches am I drinking first? Pause.
and how many points did Traore leave with? Hmm? Yeah,
He left
yeah.
with
That's
his
what
dignity. And
that's what I thought.
hold on, time out. If you're talking big about beating West Ham, who's in a relegation zone at home, damn, have the standards for Chelsea Football Club falling under Liam Rosinier.
Rosinor. But no, what I'm saying is, listen, you're down two in a game, right? That you didn't start playing well, and then you make a comeback. Right? You make a comeback and you win that game 3-2. So these are good things to see. Obviously, you have your team start off well, right? Control, take the lead, but to come back in those circumstances, right? You have to applaud that, and it's a Premier League at the end of the day, right? Relegation or not.
Fair. You're
Uh,
100% right. But can I ask you an honest question? TJ knows
mm,
where I'm going to take this.
mm-hmm.
If roles were reversed, you'd be having a heyday along with all of the British media saying Arsenal's bottled it. They don't have the mentality of champions. Blah 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 blah.
Oh,
You see the different rhetoric, right?
were you talking about like in terms of if it was you guys versus West Ham?
Yeah, if we went down two at home and then we came back and won,
Mm.
the discussion would be lack of mentality, lack of stability, yada yada yada. But for Chelsea, it's flipped into like a positive, which that's as negative as the negative game can get. First of all, yes, we talked about the Traore situation. Second of all, I don't know if you guys saw Enzo Fernandez's celebration. Man
Man
needs to
was
keep
trying to
his
do it. He's trying to do an OnlyFans in a
yeah,
celebration.
man needs to keep his
Holy.
pants on. First of all, second of all, like bro, relax with the celebration. You're act like you've been here. You're a World Cup champion. Like if I'm a Chelsea fan, I'm thinking like this shouldn't mean anything to you. You've won the highest prestige in an international level in the world where players die for that, the FIFA World Cup. And you're celebrating like CJ said like creating an OnlyFans at Stamford Bridge. Like come on, bro. Is that
Well, hey
what
man,
Rosinier has done?
listen, like I think you guys seen the clip I sent you guys of Senior coming up to João Pedro after the Napoli game, right? And just the humor that right he's having with the players, right? And that's what you want to see. You want to see a coach, a manager who allows his players to express themselves, right? Because I feel like when you say that,
Quite literally express themselves.
sure thing, man, sure thing. But yeah, no, listen, I get it. You know, over there, you guys are managed by a robot who wants you guys playing like robots. And that freedom of expression, I feel like, is just been drawn out of you, right?
Mm.
And funny enough, right, it kind of reflects also in your performances, right? Why the football can be quite boring at times, and that's why I think it's important. It's important, right? You score a goal in that fashion, the third goal to come back, two down, right, at the bridge. Of course, you know, celebrate.
Hey, just
These
know I
are
remember you laughing at us not too long ago for something similar against Wolves at the
and
Emirates.
Mm?
thank you.
Just saying.
Wait, what you guys do at wait, was it that two? Was it 2-1?
Hmm. And you had a very you know, trigger happy voice note that you sent in the group chat. You
Wait,
remember?
but I criticized you guys celebrating? I don't think I criticized you guys celebrating.
I mean, basically your point of just getting the 3 points, right? Just finding a way to win. And to Murdat's point, the rhetoric of like, you just find a way to win, right? Like in your scenario, you were down 2-0, but at the end of the day, you walk away with the 3 points. Like that's applauded, right? In most cases, or in your case, that's what you're trying to defend. But in our case, that we had a poor game against Wolves at home, still won the game, but people like yourselves still found a way to try and criticize.
And the
You know,
criticism was,
What
hold
did I
on, let me.
criticize? Yeah.
You, I was just about to get to that. What
Uh-huh.
everyone criticizes, and they still criticize,
No,
is that our
not what
top.
everyone. What did I criticize?
You criticize this as well, alongside everyone. You said the same thing as majority, that own goals is what's helping us win the league,
mm-hmm.
and I said that
Oh,
you have to be so great that you cause so much pressure on the opponent's box that they make you force those mistakes. And Matareke's goal this week was actually reversed. It was his goal because it wasn't an own goal. The ball was in the net. The ball was in the net. Like it didn't hit anyone to go into the net. It was just a straight shot into the net. So that's where the rhetoric is different. A few years ago, Liverpool had 9 own goals. 2000, I think it was 15. Was it? When was the last United uh Premier League? The 15-16.
When United won,
Yeah,
2013.
2013. They had 11 own goals that year. So But again, we shouldn't even be talking about this because, like you always say, 3 points is 3 points, a goal is a goal. And if you're applying that much pressure strategically and causing these errors out of players, it can't be like how is that twisted into being a bad thing, but it's only twisted to being a bad thing for Arsenal. And that's what you also said. Your note is, wow, I didn't realize you needed two own goals at home to beat Wolves.
I mean, to be fair, right? In regards to the own goal perspective, Arsenal fans share the same perspective as your opponents when it comes to that, right? Where you guys feel that, well, for one, how long can you get away with own goals? And two, if own goals are coming up, right? In the score sheet, right, as being the thing that's getting you over the line, it is something that Arsenal fans have shared as a concern, right? Because it's showing that, well, for one, in terms of you guys being able to, yes, I understand you could call it a created opportunity from the pressure that you guys apply, and you're forcing these mistakes, right? Um, but on the other hand, on the other side of that, right, there is the aspect of putting attacking players in positions for them to score. You see what I'm saying? And that's something that you guys have mentioned yourselves,
No, no,
right?
you're right. But that's what you just said is shit. You're talking about the own goals in a positive lens. That's not how it's spoken about. And that's what I'm talking about, the different rhetoric, right? Because when you came at it, even in that pod, and thankfully these are all recorded, that's not the lens that you came out. 100% CJ and I would agree that it is a concerning thing to know that own goals are there. But again,
Mhm.
it's only five. It's only, sorry, it's four actually, because the fifth one would have been Madueke or whoever the keep Darlow's own goal, which got reversed. There's only four. So our top scorer is, I think, Gyökeres shared with Trossard on five. But like, it's almost like media, like especially after this weekend, I really noticed it. The British media is really trying to take the piss out of Arsenal's reign this year and to say like they're not worthy champions. When you have Scholes saying that Arsenal don't deserve it, and other ex United players saying that we're the weakest team, and they would slap us, like, no, you wouldn't, because we're still talking about a team that spent. Liverpool just signed someone else. They spent close to 600 million this season. Man City buying their problems, buying to fix their problems in Gehi and Semenyo. They still have problems,
Mhm.
right? So it's just funny. And it's funny how CJ, I think you sent me that meme. You posted it on our page. Like, group chats were quiet this weekend. Very quiet,
Mhm.
you know?
Except Laurent, but everyone else is pretty
Yeah, like
quiet.
I'm almost tempted to, for episode 79, just put crickets as a
Mm.
title. Because there's a lot of crickets. Or should I say rats? When they smell cheese, they come out. Otherwise, they don't. They hide in their, dungeon. They hide in their caves.
Wait, so
Pitchforks come out.
I'm assuming that everything is good at the Emirates, given your win this weekend, right?
I don't
All
think
past problems are suddenly erased. We put
absolutely not. But I think what
well, that's
CJ
mhm.
and I wanted to see from the last pod, I think happened. And correct me if I'm wrong, CJ. Just kind of, um, just under. If I've known you long enough, I think it was a welcome surprise for you this weekend to see Martin Ødegaard dropped. Because I don't think you. First of all, I didn't think Havertz was going to play ahead of him. I thought Eze, but like, were you not surprised? Were you not happily surprised by that decision?
Yeah, of course, of course. No one, I don't think we expected it, but yeah, I was happy in the end.
And you saw in the second half when Odegaard came on, he had a light under his ass
Yeah,
because it was a
for sure.
lot of progressive passes, a lot more, right?
Yeah,
To answer your question though, Laurent, I think CJ would agree with me in saying this. This is a single game, and respectfully, beating Leeds clearly isn't for everyone. because there's a lot of other top six sides that have gone there. Liverpool couldn't do the business, and they couldn't even do the.
Chelsea.
Yeah, oh, sorry. I was trying to be nice to him. He's under the weather. Sorry.
Listen, bro, take your full shots, man.
Well,
Take your full shots.
Chelsea, Liverpool couldn't even do it at Anfield. So you got all these Liverpool fans talking this, talking that. It's like you just spent 600 million and you're scrapping for top four. Like, know your place. What's that saying for the betting apps? Know your limit, play within it. Same thing. Same thing for all those Liverpool fans. You know? And what did I say on the pod? This is for you, Julian, because I know you're fucking listening. That Fulham game, pull it out of your ass. Pull it out of your ass. And I did say that is a game that United does lose. And again, yes, I understand they walked away with 3 points, but the chink in the armor is there. They play to the level of their opponents. But before we get to there, it's one in, one out, eh, CJ? Or in this case, it's 2 in, 2 out.
Hmm. Yeah. I guess we're getting right into it with regards to the game. Before I get into it, or before we get into it, I like that. That was a pretty good opening segment, that banter segment there. I like that. Because it's true, you see some of the stuff going around um, this weekend or not going around because again, people are quite quiet. So I guess I was calling my service provider. I'm sure you were too, because we're thinking, shit, what's wrong with my phone? Like, I'm not getting any messages. The messages aren't coming through. But then you realize, oh wait, it's just a quiet week. Because I think you have the best analogy there. The rats only come out when there's cheese, right? When they smell the cheese. So it's funny how things change quickly in football, right? 1 week makes a big difference. And last week, it's funny. People say like they say Arsenal fans are the loudest and the most annoying and the most unbearable. I don't understand that because I feel like Man U fans, they're like a hypocritical woman. They talk a lot of shit and they do all this and they're the exact same way. That's what I feel like Man U fans are
They're
because all
winning the
last week,
league, apparently.
like you know what I mean, like some of this nonsense, like they think they're in some sort of title race now. It's like, what are you guys doing? Like, what are we doing here?
Shit.
They're just as bad, if not worse, in my opinion. United fans, I can't stand them. Last week they were the noisiest thing. You would have thought it was 2013 again with Fergie. Like I couldn't believe how many fans that we heard from, how many of them were posting. It's like, are you guys serious? But yeah, anyways, back to life, back to reality this week, and normality has resumed. And I think it's not just Laurent, to your. I know you said is everything rosy again in the Garden at the Emirates. It wasn't just our result. It's what else happened around us, right? It's the weekend went the way we would have hoped. So obviously we got our 3 points, but the others around us didn't. In terms of the title contenders, quote unquote. So that's what makes it, a good weekend for anyone of Arsenal persuasion. But I mean, with regards to the game itself, again, the performance also showed us it wasn't a game where we scraped by 1-0 off of a penalty or a corner kick and own goal even, right? It was a 4-0 dominance against a Leeds side, right? Let's not have anyone take this result away from us. Against a Leeds side who was bang in form. As we alluded to, they've beaten some, big sides in the top six this season. I think they haven't lost, certainly at home or something like that, since November. So
Just
they've been
fact
in.
checking that right now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they've been on a good run. They really have. And again, beating and getting some big points against some big sides along the way.
I
Yep,
mean, I wouldn't say
December.
bang in form, bro, because they drew most of their recent games.
So let me tell you what their home run is since December, because their last home loss was November 23rd against Villa 2-1.
Yeah.
Um, December 3rd, Leeds versus Chelsea 3-1. Um,
Maresca.
December 6th, Leeds versus Liverpool 3-3 draw. 4-1 December 20th against Crystal Palace they beat. Um, just have to toss this in there. They drew Liverpool at home 0-0. And then Leeds, they drew United at home. They beat Fulham at home, and Fulham was in form. and then now this is their first loss since that November 23rd.
And so for a relegated side, yeah, I mean, maybe bang on form. It's not like it's a Man City type run, 10 games in a row, but we're in the context of like a near relegated side, they've done pretty well for themselves. Coming back up to the Premier League, and in the last few months, again, having not lost at home since November, that's pretty good for again a quote unquote relegated side. Again, beating some big sides along the way, who shall remain nameless. So it's a pretty good run. Um, I would say. And so again,
Maresca.
there's a lot of people, I would
Hold on,
say.
CJ. Hold on.
Yeah.
Maresco or not, that's a $2 billion roster. Your tax is more than Lee's entire salary. Don't give me that bullshit. Anyways, same goes for United. Same goes for Liverpool, by the way. So it's not just you, Laurent.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, I know. And I think, if we're being honest, there's a lot of us who were nervous, like Arsenal fans who were nervous going into the game. There's a lot of people, from an Arsenal persuasion who are predicting a draw, even. You know what I mean? So I do not think, and I would not want anybody to try and discredit the result. Because if people were, the hate watch alongs were ready. People were ready and waiting for us to drop points again in this game. And like I said, not only did we win, but we won convincingly at Elland Road, a very tough ground to go to. So I think that was a statement result. And then, a lot of the talk coming out of the weekend from a positive side of things is people are saying that this could be a big weekend in the title race. And again, not just because of our result, but because of what happened around us. This could be the weekend that kind of shaped things up, and we're starting to see the direction things are going in, hopefully. Right? Because, yeah, I mean, when we win the way we won, we bounce back, we show the cojones, the mentality, the nerve, the bottle that people say we don't have over the years. It's, after a poor run of form, we were winless in 3 in the Premier League prior to this weekend. And then we kind of shut that down real quick with the manner of the victory, right? So it's not just the fact that we won. I think it's the way we won. You know what I mean?
At a very tough, and I know you said this, but I'm repeating this for you, at a very tough away ground.
Yeah.
Like Elland Road is very difficult to go to.
Yeah. Big fan base, big stadium. The fans are buoyant usually over there. And again, not having lost over there since November, that's, they didn't come out and expect that, to be honest with you. And so, yeah, I'm, proud of that performance. I have to say that's the bounce back that I was looking for. I'm sure you're the same, Merdad. And I think the big things that come out of this game is squad depth, right? When we're talking about the use of the squad, we all asked for Arteta to shake things up in the week, and he did just that. He was bold enough to drop his captain, and I think it worked. I think the fact that we knew Leeds, especially at home, they're pretty brave themselves, right? They weren't going to low block, which they didn't do. They were going to try and give us a go. They were going to try and test the waters and come out a bit, which Arteta came out and said, that gave him the incentive, and he knew they were going to do that. And that's why we started with Gyökeres and Havertz together. And, Havertz on paper was playing sort of that Ødegaard role or the number 10 role, but he's almost a second striker, right? He's playing really close to Gyökeres, and he was, we were trying to use them to high up the pitch to pin their back line back, right? And you saw them cause problems. Like, although Havertz didn't do a lot in terms of getting on the ball in the game, it's the spaces that he was occupying, right? Which means you have to, you're not just worried about Gyökeres up there, you're worried about Havertz up there, and the frame of him, the size of him as well, 6'4", so you got two big boy, forwards up there to contend with, right? And it forces them not to be able to cheat. They can't cheat. They can't get too high up the pitch because those two in Gyökeres and Havertz are going to, occupy spaces in the channels. They're going to run in behind. They're going to be direct. They're going to be physical. And so I think that caused them a lot of issues. So that really did work. And I have to credit, the manager when credit is due, because that the way we started the game really worked in that sense, by being more direct than the sort of control, quote unquote, control style that we've been opting to go to the last few weeks. We were direct in this game. And it worked. And then the way, he did the reverse in the second half is when he brought on the likes of Ødegaard and whatnot for control. There was a spell in the second half when Leeds were on top a bit. He made a couple of changes, brought on Ødegaard. That's when you want control in the game, right? That's when you want to slow the tempo down, quiet their crowd. You bring on an Ødegaard. He brought on Martinelli as well, and the likes. And then I think, we got a little bit more control in that second half just to kind of calm their momentum. And it worked to a T, So I think his tactics in this game were pretty spot on. And a couple big shout outs, right? Big shout out to the likes of Madueke, man. He came in, he would have known that he was coming in only, what, 10, 15 minutes before the game, if that.
Yep.
And, to replace, the talisman in Saka. He came in, he took his chance. That's what you want to do, right? As a coach, you love to see that, right? Like, that's what you want from your squad. You come in, you take your chance, assist, and now, it was credit to him for a goal. So he got his first goal and assist in the Prem. Hopefully he can kick on from this now. We're going to get there, but I fully expect him obviously to start tomorrow, whether or not Saka's fit. Madueke has just come off of a good game in the Premier League. He's facing his former side tomorrow. For me, he's a shoe-in, guaranteed to start tomorrow. Again, against his former side, there's extra motivation. Like players like him, players like a Madueke, you need to kind of put your arm around. Right? He's a confidence kind of player. You can tell, right?
Yeah.
You need to put your
time.
arm around. Yeah. You need to put your arm around those kind of characters. Support them and encourage them. Right? He's coming off of a high. You don't drop him in this game now. You kind of got to ride that wave and then play him again. And it's good. I'm liking what I was seeing from him in that game finally, and hopefully that's a good omen for the rest of the season.
And product is still lacking.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But what was quite impressive for me is the first time that he started when Saka was injured at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
The corner kicks were a huge issue, huge. And I don't know if you noticed in this game, his deliveries were bang on.
Yeah, they were
bang on. Right? Like there was that chance for Gyökeres when he headed it back in the middle, and I think it was
oh yes,
was it Gabriel that missed it?
It just went off the back post, yeah, and they all missed it, yeah.
So like no, sorry, it was I think it was Kai that missed it because Kai was in the middle. Either way, like those type of deliveries, the delivery for his goal, like those are the tiny things that, like Laurent says, the robotic manager that is Arteta looks for. He knows the flair. He knows what each player brings to the table, but he wants to know your weakest point. Are you working on it? And the only way that you can tell is that when you're in game and you have those moments, can you show me that you're working on it? And I don't know. I was proud to see that because his deliveries, man, the first time, like you saw Declan Rice had to come across and he had to do the deliveries. So to know that, and again, it's a one game sample size, but to know that he was able to perform and deliver like that, that's a really good sign.
I think you're spot on, when you say that. Like you can tell it's something that he's been working on, because like you said, literally the beginning of the season, I remember those games against Liverpool when he started at Anfield, his deliveries weren't even getting past the first man, and now he's putting those proper in swingers with some whip, in the mix, right on top of the keeper, right underneath the keeper, the same way Saka does, and you saw it lead to a goal now, So yeah, like you said, I think it's very important to point that out. That's really, really good credit to him. Definitely, you can tell that he's been working on it with the way his deliveries have improved over the last couple of weeks. So all the credit to him, man. And I think a couple other players deserve some mentions in this game. I mean, Madueke's assist led to a Zubimendi goal. He needed that. He needed that after last week. Fingers were pointed at him for the error in the United game. And for him to score the first goal in this game, was a big relief for him. Get him off the mark, get some monkeys off of his back. And I was happy for him. And speaking of getting monkeys off your back, I mean, a certain Victor Gyökeres, you can tell in his celebration, he really needed that goal in the Premier League.
Yep.
There was a big goal for him. And he did something, we've been criticizing him of recently, right? As a striker, as a target man, that's what we brought him in for, right? But lately, like we've seen how many games in the last few games where we would see those balls driven into the box or low and hard into the box, and he's not there. You know what I mean? And he's one step too late. But in this game, this was a typical number 9 poacher's goal, right? People will say, like, it didn't look like much, but he had to get in front of his man, right? He outmuscled. Finally, we saw that classic Victor Gyökeres target man type goal. Outmuscle your center back, get in front of him, get anything on the ball in that 6-yard box, and it's in the back of the net.
Yeah.
And he managed to do that. That was a typical number 9 goal. And so and now again quietly, that's 4 goals in 6 games for him. So that's. It's
João
not
Pedro
a bad
levels.
Hey man, yeah, well, we'll get to him in a minute.
Definitely not. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, four. Listen, man, 4-4-6. That's not a bad return, and he's we're talking about a guy now who has, um, he can get into double figures for the second half of the season. If he can kick on, we'll be satisfied with that as well. He needs to, and I think he's another one. Start him again against Chelsea tomorrow. Why not? You know, um, Give him the rock while it's hot, as they say in basketball terms. Keep feeding him. He's in a decent run of form, scoring some goals. So start him again tomorrow. So I think it was good for him, and I'm just pleased with the use of the squad generally. Right, Ødegaard came back in. It's nice to know that he's not safe. You can be benched, but when you get off the bench and you come in, you're going to want to make an impact. You better make an impact, right? Because nobody should be safe in this side. Martinelli came on, did the same thing. I was pleased with his performance on that right wing, somewhere that he's not really used to playing. And yeah, great use of the squad overall. And we should be happy with that. Nothing really negative to say. Clean sheet. The center backs played brilliant in the game. Um, yeah, happy days.
Only negative thing to say is Mikel Merino. He's done for the year, and his World Cup might be in doubt. From what Arteta said today in his press conference, he said it's a rare injury, and the only thing that to me it points to is a Liz Frank injury, um, because a Liz Frank fracture it it's not a common injury. Um, and if he had to get surgery, like I mean, they're not going to announce it, but that's a I think it might be a Liz Frank. Um, so he's done. The transfer window closed uh yesterday or today.
Today. Yeah.
Today, so there we didn't have any incomings. Um, that's the only other thing. Like I think Saka will be fine, and I'm kind of happy that they took him out in a precautionary way, and I hope that he does not see the pitch tomorrow, because it's a small game that we're playing tomorrow, and then we can save him for bigger games that are to come next weekend, especially against Sunderland. It's going to be a huge game compared to the game that we're playing tomorrow. So, you know,
I love it. I love it.
one
I
one fun
fucking love it.
fact, one fun fact before we move on, CJ. I think you're going to be shocked at this. From now to the end of the year, we only have 3 games out of London.
Outside of London. Yeah.
That's fucked, eh?
Yeah.
We
So
go to
it's almost like
Brighton, Wolves, and City.
in City. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Eh? So I think it almost goes to show we did a lot of the hard work in the first half of the season, and not to say we're it's smooth sailing from here on out, but again, we put ourselves in a really good position, right? But that's gonna play a big part, right? If you don't have to, especially if you're playing Champions League games late in the
Huge.
in the
Yep.
season, and you don't have to do all that travel,
Mhm.
that's a big plus as well. I was gonna ask you, um, just quickly before we move on with regards to the Marino thing, does it concern you that we didn't replace at all?
Nope. Christian
So
Norgard said that he wants to play more. We can utilize Christian Norgard. And I think with the health of some of our forward line, I think we have a lot of flexibility with where we can play some players. And I think
okay.
it's going to force Arteta to play Eze.
Okay, so that's okay. I'm glad you offered up those solutions. That was going to be my next question: is what would be your solutions? And maybe
Like
I'll ask you
Rice,
more
Rice, Havertz, Eze. Uh,
because so if we're looking at it like this, you know how we say two in every position, right?
yes.
So Rice's immediate backup was a Marino. So if Rice needs a rest or he's out or God forbid something happens to him, who's the next man up in Rice's position? Because it
Like
was Marino.
likely it will be Norgard. Sorry. Likely it will be Zubamendi and then Norgard, or it's going to be a Zubamendi Norgard pivot. Rather than being a single pivot, it'll turn into a double pivot, and then you play like one of the eights ahead of him, whether it's an Eze or an Ødegaard, or it might be like a Norgard, Havertz, Ødegaard, because you know that the work rate of those two, alongside, for example, a Martinelli on the left wing, will make up for Christian Norgard's lack of pace.
Hmm.
It's gonna be some combination of that.
Okay,
So like
so
technically, yes, Norgard would be Zubamendi's sorry, Rice's direct backup. Because I don't know if you watched in this game, we didn't even touch on it. Zubamendi and Rice switched.
Yeah, yeah.
Rice was the sitter, which I do think it actually works better because Zubamendi, not to say that Rice isn't creative, but Zubamendi, he pops up in some areas, and I'm like, why the, like, how did you get there?
Mm,
It's like Granit Xhaka when he had his good season before he moved.
yeah.
Like Xhaka was popping up in areas, and I'm like, where did you come from? You were playing left back, and now you're at the top of the box scoring bangers. Like, how did you get there?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I mean, because Rice can't play 90 minutes every game from here on out. So we're gonna need to do something in terms of rest or rotation and find a different solution. So I'd be curious to see what he does. If he does choose to play Norgard and Zumeni together, I mean, it's not something we've seen yet. But I'd be curious to know if that's what he's gonna do. But we're gonna have to adapt, right? We're gonna have
mhm.
to adapt. Because yeah, like I said, Rice is not gonna be able to play 90 every game from here on out. So
But again, this is why he got the squad. This is why he got the players. Now the players need to step up.
Lewis Skelly, did you? I mean, that for me, that almost seems like the direct replacement as well. Like, and again, for somebody who's not getting that much game time, we haven't seen him in midfield yet. I mean, that left eight role almost sounds perfectly suited to a Miles Lewis Skelly, no?
Maybe in the FA Cup. Maybe he'll give it a try in the FA Cup game,
Mm,
right? Because it is at home.
yeah.
There are solutions. Bottom line is, I think there are enough solutions. Just quickly glancing through the Premier League games this weekend. Um, Bournemouth without Semenyo, they look pretty solid. I don't think they're going down. They're on 33 points. They beat Wolves. Not much to really say about Wolves. Their losing streak has started again. Uh, two losses in a row. Not much to really say there. Huge result for Everton away from home at Brighton. Like in my opinion, that's a huge result for them. Currently sitting on
Hmm.
34 points. They're 10th in the Premier League, and Brighton is on 31 points, 13th. Um, David Moyes, man, I love that man. I love that man. He just gives, like, you can tell he's at a stage of his career that he gives zero fucks.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
even his
yeah.
post match conference, like comments and stuff like that. Like he just knows he has the credit in the bank and he does not care at all.
Did you guys get a chance to see that clip I sent you? Yeah, he's hilarious, man. He is hilarious. Laurent, did you get a chance to see it or listen to it?
All right, listen to a bit of it, right? What was it? He got booked for celebrating?
Yeah, and basically just kind of questioning, like, I mean, like, come on, if we're getting as coaches, if we're getting booked for celebrating like that, like we're basically taking the life out of football, and
Mm.
what's the point? And then he's even saying like he's making a joke, like just like if I was even a little bit more mobile, I would have done a knee slide, and might as well get booked for a knee slide, like Jose Mourinho style. You know what I mean?
Mm. Mm.
He was saying shit like that because like, if he's like if I'm getting booked for that, like he just kind of did like a mile like run around the pitch, like he's still on his feet, he didn't go over the top, kind of thing. He's like,
Right.
but if I'm gonna get booked, I might as well have done like a whole knee slide. If I was a little bit more mobile, like I might have done it. Do you guys remember? I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago, like Jurgen Klopp ran on the pitch and hugged Allison after I think it was a Merseyside derby, actually. Funny enough, against
Yep.
Everton. Do you remember
But
that,
nobody
man?
talks about it because it's Liverpool. But Arteta's running down celebrating that 3-2 game in Bournemouth.
And Luton, yeah, yeah,
Uh, take go down the take the win and go down
the
the
tunnel.
tunnel.
Yeah.
Like fuck off, Jamie Carragher. Go fuck yourself. Fucking and you're yeah. But see, that's the difference in the messaging. So
Hmm.
um, we touch on the Chelsea West Ham game. Laurent, did you want to say? Did you want to add anything else to that game?
No, not much to add.
So you're just happy,
It's
happy you got the result, move on.
result, one loss for Rose Senior. What is that, 6-7 now for a new
Sure,
manager? Yeah,
sure,
that's
yeah.
impressive, impressive. So not much else to add.
Okay. Are you finishing top three?
Right now it's still early. It's still early to tell, but
Gun to your head. Are you finishing top three?
I'd say top four.
Okay.
Top four. Yeah.
Not top five?
No, I'd say top four.
Hmm.
I'd say top four.
Top five. Top five. Liverpool. This was a game I did not see. Quite convincing 4-1 victory over Newcastle. Um, I don't know what's been going on at Newcastle because they typically perform better than this. I think they're missing their heartbeat in the center of the pitch and Bruno Guimaraes. Um, and when you play Joe Willock at Anfield, that's what happens. He gets run through. That's pretty much that's pretty much what happens. The other worrying sign for Liverpool fans is I don't know if you guys saw that clip of Kieran Trippier and Mohamed Salah having a foot race, and Kieran Trippier won the foot race and got a
Hmm.
goal kick out of it. Like, yikes!
They were leveled when they started.
Yes,
Hmm.
that's worrying signs. And I think when we look back at the end of the season, and I mean, we can say it right now too, the two players that are the most underrated signing of the season, Granit Xhaka for Sunderland and Hugo Ekitike for Liverpool. The most underrated signings of the Premier League season. The impact that they've had on their respective clubs is immense. Is absolutely immense. And I think Liverpool would be nowhere near sniffing top four if it wasn't for Hugo Ekitike. And same thing with Sunderland. Sunderland would not be like Sunderland on around 36 points. They're 3 points out of six spot, 4 points out of top five. Like, take that in for a second. Sunderland, who just
Mm.
got promoted, can be in the Conference League next year.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
So those are the two players. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with me, but I think Hugo Ekitike and Granit Xhaka do not get enough credit for what they've done for their respective clubs.
You don't think so, eh?
I truly don't think so. I think Hugo Ekitike is wildly disrespected by Liverpool fans. That I think
Really?
they think Isak is better than him.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
Wait, where is this coming from?
Yeah,
Like, they do love him. Don't get me wrong, but I think if Isak was fit, they'd be calling for Isak over Ekitike.
interesting. He seems like a fan favorite over there.
He fucking should be. He's phenomenal. Makes you question why Arsenal didn't go in for him because I don't know if you remember last year when he was in Frankfurt when they faced Spurs, he did the Thierry Henry celebration because he's a lifelong Arsenal fan.
Yeah, and he's actually a striker. I think that would suit our system
Mm-hmm.
because he can play.
Mm-hmm. He's a Kai Havertz with the better finishing.
Hmm.
Um, Brentford, probably one of the bigger
Brentford.
upsets of the weekend. They beat Aston Villa 1-0. And if I'm not mistaken, I am not mistaken, they played an entire half down a man. Kevin Schade was sent off at the 42nd minute. So that meant the entire second half, Brentford played with 10 men. They were able to pull it off.
That's crazy. Eh? That's a big bottle job, man. And
Tammy
I think,
Abraham started his first game.
yeah, and I think, and we're going to get to the other bottle job in the title race in a minute. Hmm. But as far as these guys are concerned, I mean, yeah. Maybe it's just me. Is there not enough noise about this one because it's Villa and because they're not expected to win anything anyways? But I'm just thinking, like, damn, that's two home games in a row. I think not too long ago they lost at home to Everton as well,
Yep.
1-0, and at home, man, like that's a terrible result. I mean, I heard Unai Emery was crashing out after the game, but that's not a good result for Villa in a title race.
Douglas Reese started. Tammy Abraham started. So.
So imagine, I'm just thinking, like, imagine that's like us or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, bottle job. Everyone's coming for us. Everyone and their mother. People that you haven't heard from for like 20 years are coming out of the woodworks. They smell that cheese, the marble cheese, the aged Gouda. No? Are you shaking your head, Laurent? You know what I'm talking about.
Because I've never seen people who enjoy being the victims, bro. It's like you guys love just painting yourself as victims all the time.
No, 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 no.
Everyone
We're
wants everyone this, everyone that.
we're we're we're
That's
welcoming that we've reached a time that the hero has become the villain. And now, if that's the character that society wants us to be, we're embracing it with open arms.
hmm. Well.
But let me ask you this question. You said top four.
hmm
The two teams you're racing are Aston Villa on 46 points and a Manchester United who have picked up at least a point in their last 5 games, 3 wins in a row with the new manager bounce. They're on 41 in fourth place. And then as you guys on 40, right behind you is Liverpool at 39. United beat Fulham barely, barely at home. Who makes the Champions League between Villa, Chelsea, Liverpool, and United?
I think we're in there, but also depending on how English teams perform, there might be a slot available actually, an extra
Let's say
Champions
there's
League
no
slot.
slot available.
No pun intended. Um, I still
hmm.
think uh, I still think Chelsea is up there.
No, no, not up there. Tell me the two, because I think we can all agree that Arsenal and City are going to be locked for 1-2.
Oh, so you want to know? Okay.
Who's the other two? It doesn't need to be in order. Just who are your 14? Who are the other two teams that qualify?
mm, mm, Chelsea, Liverpool.
CJ,
Um, yeah, actually, I'm glad you mentioned Villa because I actually was gonna say that I think they're gonna be dragged into a top four battle now or top five for the Champions League. Um, because what they're only 6 points ahead of the likes of Chelsea or United or whoever's in and around
United
there.
they're 5 points ahead of Chelsea, 6 points. Liverpool 7.
Wow, only five behind,
Yep,
five ahead of United.
yep.
Now I see why United fans are gassed and think they're in a title race because they're only five behind Villa, who are apparently in a title race too, quote unquote. So um, that's interesting. That is interesting. I think they're going to be dragged in at Villa. I can't lie. I can see them maybe starting to slip down now. But I think, hmm,
Manchester
are you?
United face Villa March 14th. The
It's a
week
big game.
before that, Villa play Chelsea March 4th.
Oh,
So two back-to-back games for Villa that are crucial.
ooh, that's a big week for them. Are they home or away? How are they? How's that arranged in those two games?
United they're away,
hmm
Chelsea they're home.
Mm. But it's top five, right, for Champions League, or is that not confirmed yet? Is it? Is
Top
it?
four.
It's top four right now.
Yeah. Fifth slot is Europa, and then sixth spot is conference. And remember, they play Thursdays.
Yeah, I kind of feel like United will sneak in there. They have to, man. They play fucking once a week. Um, yeah, United and maybe Liverpool will do it too. Liverpool will come from behind. They're remember we said if they didn't win the league, it would be a joke because of the money they spent. Imagine they don't even get into Champions League places. That is an ultimate. Like that's like
Worst
sack
title
worthy.
defense ever.
Yeah, that's really bad with the money spent, and you don't even forget not win the league. You don't even get into the Champions League. That's bad. That's pressure on them.
I got United and Chelsea to round out the top four.
Mm,
I don't see Liverpool doing it.
really?
Yeah, I don't think they have the depth, unfortunately.
I don't know about Chelsea, man. I don't know. We'll see. It's one to watch. I don't know. Sorry, Laurent.
Hey man, you've been saying that, yet you keep predicting for Chelsea to win. You know?
I'll tell you that much. That I won't predict them to win this time around.
Oh, for the EFL or we're talking
Yeah,
about Premier League.
yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, hey man, I put a draw. Just a heads up.
My
Mm.
prediction is already in there. You don't need to look. You already know what my prediction is.
Arsenal win everything, everything
Win
till the end of
everything.
the season, undefeated.
Hundred
Mm,
percent.
yes, sir.
Two
That's
teams that are
exactly
not a
why you are in third place in the leaderboard. Or
love it,
actually second. Yeah.
love it, and I'm in third place, and I
Third,
love it because this comeback is gonna be one for the ages. Um, One
Jeez.
team who is not gonna make a comeback is Nottingham Forest. Played the entire second half with 10 men. Drew 1-1 against Palace. The gap is 6 points now between West Ham and Forest. Forest lost an opportunity to extend their lead. They were only able to extend it by one. So now Leeds, Forest, 6 points ahead of West Ham, and 11 points ahead of Burnley. So it looks like it's a three-team fight for 18th spot. Betting man still bet that West Ham go down. Because then not only do they have to make up 6 points, they also have to get a favor from other places. And I don't think they get all those favors. CJ, you want to talk about this game? I think this is the game for you. Because you were thinking with your heart, your gut, your head, wherever else you can think of, you were thinking it.
Yeah, man. Spurs City. This is the one we all wanted to talk about for many reasons. There's a lot of narrative coming out of this game. And like I said, I think this game and this weekend generally, with all the results for the title contending teams, this is a big weekend. A very telling weekend for many different reasons for the title race and the way it's shaping up. And not a nil nil, a 2-2 draw. Spurs and Man City. Wow. Now what to say here? I mean, City up 2-0 against a Spurs side who have what 11 players out injured. You can make a whole other starting 11, a stronger 11 with the injured players Spurs have at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
compared to the one that started the game yesterday. You know, no Van der Ven, no Madison, no Kulusevski, no Kudus, just to name a few. I think Benton Core as well. Like we're talking about key players. Romero had to go off at halftime. You know, and so you're thinking, okay, 2-0 City. I didn't even watch the game from the beginning, but if you were watching the game and then you see 2-0 City, turn the TV off at this point. Shout out Kendrick Lamar, turn the TV off. You know, like game's done. You're thinking, like, what? Romero off at halftime, game's done. 2-0 City. And then, you know, you flip your TV back on at full time and you see 2-2, and you're almost like having to rub your eyes. Like, what the hell is going on? And again, I say it again, you know, guys like Rodri, you know, once upon a time,
Oof.
calling out using terms such as mentality monsters. He claimed they were when he spoke about us versus them a couple years ago. They're mentality monsters and this and that. Similar to the Villa game, you know, and that's why I said this is a big weekend. This exposed a lot of things. If we had, you know, had a 2-0 lead against that sort of poor Spurs side and end up drawing the game 2-2,
Oh,
wow. I'm just thinking about like, yeah, what would come out and be said about us then? You know what I mean? Like it's insane. Like this is poor. Let's call it for what it is. These are poor results for Villa and for City in this title race. Poor, very telling. And I think what we've realized is, you know, Splash the Cash, Mark Gahey's, Semenyo's, there's still underlying issues at City. And I think one thing we can all say now is this title is in Arsenal's hands and it's ours to lose. The only one that's going to beat Arsenal is themselves. I'm sorry, like
mm-hmm.
you know, we're only scared of City because of PTSD, but this is not the same City side that we've seen once upon a time. This is not the same City team that can go on a 10-game win run. They just don't have it in them.
No.
You know, their defense is leaky, right? Their defense is poor. I mean, they're still playing like midfielders and at fullback, you know, so there's no real strength in the fullback areas. You know, in their some of their strongest teams, right, under Pep in the last couple of years, we've seen them play. You have to have solid backline unit, right? That's the foundation of where they've gotten a lot of their strength from and where they went on a lot of their winning runs. You know, you have your Diaz's, your Stones, your Akes, your Kanjis. You know, I'm not sure they haven't replaced what they once had with
They haven't
anything
even
any
placed
better.
Kyle Walker.
No, I think they're still playing that Mateus Nunez at right
Yeah.
back, and they swap around that left back. Aiton Ori, I mean, he's not of the level of Man City. I'm sorry, like, you know, compared to what they once had. Matt O'Reilly and these guys, like, it's just, you know, they brought in a Mark Gahey, but he's still getting used to, you know, finding his footing. You know, it's a different level as players from Palace that go to a bigger club. I mean, as they've seen at Arsenal, to be fair, you know, it's not an easy step up, you know. And Gahey's a good player, don't get me wrong. But he's going to, you know, soon realize that the lights are brighter when you go to these bigger clubs. And to be fair to him, he's playing against alongside a center back in what's that lad's name, Khrushchev, who I don't even, he's not top level yet, you know, so they still need their center backs to come back soon, Diaz and them. Midfield, they're not the same. Rodri, I'm sorry, he's not the same player, you know, as pre-injury, which is to be understood. He had a serious injury, you know, and they look exposed in midfield. Pep Guardiola plays a really light midfield. You know, there's not too much, you know, strength and robustness in there. You know, you're playing your Silvas, you're playing your Cherkis and Foden and these guys. Like, it's not, you know, with a Rodri who's coming back from injury, he can't protect them the same as he used to, right? He can't do it all by himself in there, you know? And so they're very
zero
exposed.
fucks about Rodri after what he said.
Yeah, and we'll touch on it, but I mean, yeah, they're very vulnerable defensively. You know, they're exposed, they're vulnerable, and clearly this shows that you can get at them. You know, so after this weekend, I think I've relaxed a little bit because obviously nothing is said and done yet. But I don't think they can catch us simply because they just don't have the defensive solidarity and the and the strength to go on them type of winning runs that we saw them do to Liverpool, to us. You know, they're clearly showing that they don't have that right now. You know, and like I said, the only one that's going to stop us is ourselves. You know, next weekend it could be another pivotal weekend. You know, we have Sunderland at home. We play again before them, and they go to Anfield the day after. I'll tell you right now, I do not predict a City victory at Anfield. You know, so that gap can extend even more. I mean, yeah, man, it's, you know, there's issues over there for them. There's issues over there, and there's, you know, I think they have a lot to answer for at this moment in time. And listen, specifically with the Rodri comments, okay? So I'm sure you guys have heard them to some extent. One of the first things I will say, right, is I agree, controversially, I agree that their first goal probably shouldn't have, Spurs' first goal probably shouldn't have stood. I personally do think that there's a foul in there. You know, to be honest with you, because obviously Solanke has to go through Mark Gahey. I agree with that to get the goal. You can see that Gahey gets the ball first. We've seen those called. We've seen those given all the time as fouls, right? However, I think the rant that he went on, and if he doesn't get fined for it, again, I think that's unfair. I think that's unjust because we've seen other people, even Arteta, get fined for calling out referees in the past, and get sanctioned for it. So Rodri
Disgracia,
right? Famously after that Newcastle game. So I think, you know, Rodri, if he's allowed to make those comments and get away with it, then that's kind of fucked up because he literally called out referees. He's talking about, you know, I understand, you know, they don't want us to win because we've won too much. Like, you're coming out and saying all that blatantly, like, that's crazy, you know, like, that was an emotional post-match interview. You know, talking about let's not forget, right? We're talking about a guy and a team who has 1-1-5 hanging over their heads at the moment. So let's not talk about, you know, cheating and who wants who to win and who's rigging games and this and that. Like, let's not go there. You know, we're talking about the same Rodri that famously a few years ago in a title race with Liverpool, I do not know if you guys remember this, but at Goodison Park, the same man, Rodri himself, handled the ball in the box, and they benefit. Everton did not get the penalty call for that. I don't know if you guys remember that. A few years ago, very, very controversial call. Rodri himself handles the ball in the box. It went to VAR. They upheld the decision, and Everton get the penalty for that. And that was a crucial decision in a title race at the time when they were chasing, when Liverpool was going toe to toe with them. So they've gotten away with a lot over the years. Rodri is the last person I think who should be talking about woe is me, and they don't want us to win. Like, buddy, are you kidding me?
Especially in this
Um,
game too. There was two tackles after he was already on a yellow
I
that he
heard he
could
should
have
have
been
got sent
sent
off.
off.
Yeah,
Two tackles. I watched that game. There was two times, and that's when Pep hooked him after the
yeah,
second tackle. Like, listen, man, I give zero fucks about you. You tried to injure Odegaard last year on international break. Was it last year or the year before when Spain and Norway played and Rodri essentially like destroyed him in a tackle.
yeah. I remember that
Like,
2 years ago. Yeah.
you're a dirty scumbag. You won the Ballon d'Or when you shouldn't have. Like, come on, bro. And you're making comments like that? Where's the mentality, Rodri? People don't want you to win? Where's the mentality? Where is the mentality? You're not a mentality monster anymore. Ron's laughing because he knows I'm right. He knows I'm right.
But again, let's wait this week out and see what comes out of that, right? And if there's any sort of repercussions for his actions and for what he said, because again, Laurent is going to say, oh, it's we're putting ourselves in the limelight, we're making ourselves a victim. But it's true, man. I just picture it and I say, and I'm not the biggest Arteta fan in the world, right? People know that, whatever. But like, I don't know. I just imagine he would, like, Arteta himself, if he came out and said some of the stuff that Roger was saying, Arteta would actually be getting shit on, for like, oh, this guy's a crybaby, he's a complainer, this and that. It's actually so true. Like, I can't believe. I hope Rodri doesn't get away with this. People should be coming out and coming for his head, because he literally sounds like a moan, like a complainer, like somebody who, again, woe is me. I'm the victim. Like, that's not right. You're literally directly calling out the referees, and you're literally accusing them of match fixing.
Match fixing.
Essentially,
Yep.
that's essentially what he's doing with his comments. So I don't
Yep.
think that's right to come out and say. And I think that there should be some repercussions for that. And I hope it would be a pity and it would be a shame if the Premier League or whoever, the FA, don't have the balls to essentially penalize him for that. Because do you guys think that that's right? I don't.
No, I think you're bang on right with what you said.
Laurent, what are your thoughts, man? You're quiet over there.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you got to do your talking on the pitch, right? Um, and yeah, um, victims. That's usually what I like to see, right? Personally, at Chelsea, we don't do that, so I'm not too familiar with you know all these shenanigans, but I will say that you are right in terms of the comments, right? Alluding to match fixing, that should come with some form of punishment, if we're being real. And yeah, frankly, I do think he has to be punished, right? Because you have to set a precedent here.
Mhm.
So yeah, but yeah, I mean, as for City, I'm sure Pep, right, is gonna look to talk to them, right? They just have to keep the cool about them, right? And I know you're saying it's not the same city. Um, However, there are still players, right, that did win it with Pep numerous of times, right? So he has to find a way to bring that mentality back, because they do look like they're losing themselves out there in games where, yeah, they have no business dropping these kind of points. So yeah.
Last game of the week, match weekend. Sunderland continue their perfect form at home. They're the only team to not lose at home this season so far. They beat Burnley 3-0. Great victory without Granit Xhaka. They are facing Arsenal next week, I believe, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, not much to really say there. Sunderland are fighting for a European spot, either Europa or Conference League.
Yeah.
Um, Now let's move on. Let's quickly move on to the League Cup. No Champions League this weekend. It's League Cup. City host Newcastle Wednesday. Uh, City have a 2-0 advantage. Guimaraes looks like he may be a doubt, and I think with the way that they've been playing without Guimaraes, I do not give Newcastle a chance. But then again, who knows what's going to happen to Rodri, right? One extra day for the FA to make a decision. I don't think they're going to make a decision for this. I think if they are going to make a decision, they'll make it after this. which will impact Rodri's involvement in the weekend. And that's even that in my opinion, that's bigger than this, right? Um, do we? I mean, we have this in our predictions. What do you guys predict? Like City to just
Uh,
win, a draw, Newcastle to somehow come back? Will they look
Uh,
at
this is at the Etihad, no?
this? Is at that? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, there will be no comeback.
There will be no comeback. You think it's going to be a rout, especially after this weekend's performance?
Yeah, I don't think Newcastle has the firepower to
So I'm
manage
assuming
that.
you're going City win.
Yep.
I fortunately have to agree. I think Pep's going to get them to have a fire under their ass. I don't know if you guys saw when Cherokee came off injured when he was getting treatment. Pep was yelling at him,
Mm.
telling him why he didn't square the ball,
oh yeah.
like why he was being selfish. Yeah, there was a clip going around. Cherokee got his treatment. He was getting up to come off for that 30 seconds. And all you could hear in the background is Pep being like, "Why didn't you square it? Why didn't you square it? You had the player there." And then they like zoomed in and they, listened in the conversation. He's like, "I don't care. You have to square the ball. You have to not be selfish. You have to get your players involved."
Wow,
So
really?
just goes to show, and we've said it before. Pep Guardiola is one of the greatest managers of all time. Cherokee's a good player, but Pep still the standards are even higher than what you're able to do. So CJ, last but not least, your prediction for this game?
Yeah, no, this is a City win. Just wanted to say, touching on Newcastle really quickly, if I may. Um, I mentioned this before a few pods ago too. You see, with sides like Newcastle and Villa specifically, so like those two like those kind of sides who are just on the cusp of like that big six. Or obviously you have the traditional big six, and then you have like the Villas and the Newcastles who for the last couple of years have been just underneath that level. And what you're seeing with those kind of sides is when they're in the Champions League, right, and you have those extra demanding games at the top level, it tends to catch up to those kind of sides, right? Because they're not used to that, right? Like the way the Arsenals, the Chelseas, the Man Uniteds over the years, Liverpool's, cities have been able to play those games, and compete on both fronts in terms of Premier League and Champions League. Where Villa and Newcastle are concerned, for example, like when you try and crack that code and you try and get to that next level, you see it takes a lot out of you. You're stretched, and so they've been both kind of bouncing back and forth, Villa and Newcastle, in the last couple of years. This year it's Newcastle in the Champions League, and then therefore you see them struggling in the league. Whereas last year it was Villa who qualified for the Champions League, and then you saw them struggle in the league. The year before that, again, it was back to Newcastle, right? 2 years ago, Newcastle was in the Champions League for the first time. But it cost them in the league because the extra games at that top level are demanding. And so this year, what you're seeing, it's reverting back to Aston Villa again because whilst Aston Villa is in Europe, they're not in the Champions League this season, right? Which is
Correct.
the level is different, right? So Villa's back in that sort of contention for a good Premier League run because they're not playing those Champions League demanding extra games week in, week out like Newcastle are. And what you're seeing right now in Newcastle again is their squad is being a little bit stretched. Obviously, they lost Isaac, which didn't help. And so, they're really feeling the effects, right, from injuries to mental fatigue and physical fatigue. Whereas last year, again, they had a phenomenal campaign, Newcastle, because they didn't have that Champions League to contend with. And so, it's just interesting to see, it makes a difference at the highest level, right? So I guess you got to kind of credit those teams like the traditional Big Six, call it Big Five, let's say, because we don't like to count Spurs in the top six.
We can't
How
really
they
count them. They suck when they're in Europa. They suck when they're in Champions League. They suck when they're out of all European competitions. They just suck. What do
yeah,
we what do
like
we think of Tottenham?
yeah, literally. I'll be singing that all parade long at the parade this year. Um, but yeah, no, yeah, like how Spurs have done whatever black magic or voodoo they did to get themselves into the top six and call themselves a top six club. I don't know who they finessed to get that title, but as far as I'm concerned, to be a top six club in the Premier League, you have to have won the Premier League. You know what I mean? If you haven't won the Premier League, how do you become a big six club in the league that you've never won? But anyways, that's besides the point. So, but yeah, again, as I say, just credit to the traditional big clubs in England, because it's clearly not easy to contend on all fronts, right? And that's why you need big squads and um, to compete, because it's not easy, right? As Newcastle are seeing.
A team that has a massive squad, $2 billion squad, a squad where players, instead of resigning their contract, they turn to a different sport. That squad is none other than the Chelsea. Up the Chelsea. Chelsea. $2 billion fighting for top four. No longer Centurion, no longer have Madueke, no longer have their manager, and
No
now
longer
they
have
have a new.
Madueke. Why is that even like a point to be concerned about? Like no longer have Madueke.
No
He
longer
scores
have Mudrik.
he scores one Olympico corner for you guys, and suddenly he's the Messiah. Huh? He's
I
come to
mean, should
replace
should we
Bukayo Saka.
should we pull up the number of goals that two players have that are equivalent in the
Well, we're, we're
Champions
gonna
League?
we're gonna do what, a Madueke and Garnacho comparison?
No, no,
Is
no,
that what you're trying to
no.
do?
Even deeper than that.
Wait, hold on. Actually, you know what? There's one guy that's been sliding under the. Let's talk about Bukayo Saka, bro. This guy has not scored in the last 14 games, bro.
It's not a problem.
That is definitely a problem.
Nah, that's not a problem.
You're t All right. You know what? I'm not gonna say more, bro. Because if you don't find that that's a problem, then shit, bro. This is the same guy you're saying deserves to be in the what's it called, the FIFA team, the FIFA World Team, top 11, right? That guy hasn't scored in the last 14 games. Come on,
I
man.
mean, Eden Hazard is there, and he has the same number of Champions League goals as Martinelli,
Come
and
on.
Martinelli's
All
played
right,
only
yo, we're
21
not
games.
we're not we are not about to compare
I
Eden
mean, hey, I'm
Hazard.
just tossing factual
We are
numbers.
we are not about to compare Eden Hazard to Martinelli, bro. Let's not even do
I
that.
mean, the numbers don't lie.
Let's
21
n-
games for Martinelli, 13 goals.
let's not even,
115
bro.
games
They
for
those
Hazard and 21 goals. I'm
those
just
two play
saying.
a different kind of art, bro. It's a different kind
They
of
both play
football.
left wing.
Th- and it's a different art, bro. You can't even compare the art styles. Um,
Whatever the
you
style is, one is working, one clearly didn't.
bro, I'm telling you right now, bro, you do not even want to go there, bro. I dare you. Listen, I dare you to, take your personal account and bring that up in the on social media, right? The
Okay.
whole comparison with
And then compare
Martinelli
Chris
and
Wood and
and
thing.
um and no, do Martinelli and Hazard, right? And just watch how the football world just chews you up and spits you back out,
Okay.
right? Because that is something you just do not do. But yeah, no, it's cute. It's cute though. It's cute. But
Well,
yeah, go on. What's your point in regards to Chelsea and all of this and that?
my point is, as I was saying a little bit earlier in the pod, we have a very small game that we need to play tomorrow. Well, when you're listening to this, it'd be today. Uh, Arsenal with a 3-2 victory at Stamford Bridge, hosting the little guys in London. And I don't know. CJ, I mean, I've got my prediction as an Arsenal win. I'm assuming you're going to say an Arsenal win, but what do you expect out of this game? We already said that we like Madueke to start. Um, back line, I think, will be unchanged. I think unchanged in the sense that I think Saliba and Gabriel come back into the picture, given that we're playing Tuesday. Um, I do think Ben White will start right back,
Yeah.
and I think left back will be Lewis Skelly. And I think our midfield is going to remain the same, and I think our attack is going to remain the same from last game.
Sorry, when you say last game, sorry, you're talking about the last Premier League game or the last time we played the first leg of the semi?
No,
Of the,
like last game, as in like this last game against Leeds. Like our front line and
uh,
midfield will be the same.
oh, okay.
What are your thoughts?
Mm. Yeah, definitely. And it's a curious one. I'm trying to think about how we're going to line up. I'll tell you this much. I would go as strong, very strong in this one. I know after the first leg, I said Kepa comes in right in goal, but even starting from the very back, starting from goal, I think for this game, I'm tempted to bring Raya back in, because when you're that close to a final, you want to ensure you get over the line, right?
Mm.
It's
And it
it's a
may be
small
harsh.
game. It's a small game
It's a very small game.
versus a small side. There's no need for all that firepower.
This is a side dish to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
This is the appetizer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, I think because what pisses me off about this, all jokes aside, right? Like we made the first leg so much closer than it needs to be. Like when I reflect back on that game and I think about it in my head, and then I remember the scoreline, I'm like, how the hell did that game only finish 3-2, right? So annoyingly, right, in typical Arsenal fashion, we've kept them in it, right? Obviously. Um, but I think, to be, the extra bit of security, we're at home. Again, you're that close to a final, something we haven't been under Mikel Arteta for, since he first came to the club. You want to ensure that you get there. And because we're that close, it may sound harsh, but, this is at the top level and at big clubs, you got to make these decisions. So I'm almost tempted to say Raya should come back in, insurance policy, get him in there. I still think your back line got to be strong, of course. I think he will start with his strongest back four. I think he's going to start Timber, which will be harsh because Ben White did well in the first leg, scored at the bridge. But I think he'll start with Timber. I think Saliba and Gabby will both start. I think who's going to start at left back? I think he's going to start Calafiori. No, I think you know what? Maybe it's either Calafiori or actually, even Miles could start. I think all three of them could start there.
I think it's gonna be Miles.
Yeah, and I wouldn't hate that.
Because Hincapié and Calafiori both came back from injury.
Yeah.
And you want to try to keep them for the Prem. And if we're being serious, the right wingers for this little club aren't physically daunting.
Okay, well, if we think about who plays on that side, it's Esteval.
He's
right?
injured.
He's
he's
not
injured.
He's actually not injured. I'm just gonna give you guys the update. And I know this may alleviate your hearts and the built-up anxiety, especially for Timber actually, because I do believe he was the one on the receiving end of whatever skating lessons Esteval had displayed for him on that day. But Esteval may not play that game, given the fact that he is away for for family related reasons. So you know,
would it make a difference?
Oh, it'd make a world of a difference. Just if you want, I can send you the highlights after we're done here.
Go ahead. We'll make a difference.
Just like because I know Michel Arteta was watching. I think he watched your game versus Man U, the 2 hours. I think. Oh no, you guys heard about that? He watched like 2 hours of it, back to back to back, to see where you guys were wrong. Yeah, so I'm gonna give you, and hopefully you can do the same type of homework to see.
See, that's the difference between a manager and a coach. A coach is narrow-sighted. A manager looks at every single angle.
Yeah, that's cute. But anywho, yeah. So
just saying, 21 games versus 115.
Yes. With
mic drop.
almost no major trophies, eh? And it's funny actually, and I'll actually send you guys this. I wasn't going to do this, but now I think I must. When Liam Rose Sr. was given the press conference in reference to this upcoming game here versus
he said it's a small game
versus a not so much bigger club that is the Arsenal FC. One of the guys at the pressers was pretty much said this. I paraphrase. How do you feel facing up against Arsenal, who haven't won a major trophy in the last 5 years? And our manager, he had a chuckle at the comment. It was it was quite amusing. If I'm being completely honest, it was quite amusing because he chuckled at that fact that you guys had not won anything in the last 5 years. So that's the guy, right? That you're referencing, your maestro.
This is the same. This is the same Liam Rosenior that hasn't done shit in his career and was handed a job.
And that's doing amazing. That's doing an amazing job.
Hey, fam, you
Amazing.
played 7 games, bro. Calm down. Like this is what you
Amazing.
can't do this. We can't be doing
Wait,
He's
wait,
that.
hold on,
amazing.
hold on, hold on,
With a
hold on,
$2
hold on.
billion roster, he's
Hold
struggling to
on,
get it over the line
hold
against
on,
West Ham.
hold on,
Come on,
hold on,
man.
hold on. 7 games, 6 wins, 1 loss versus
The
the
real
leader
test,
the leader
the
of
the
the current league,
small
right?
game, and they lost.
Any other manager that comes in and that does not perform to that, it's excusable. Oh yeah, he's just getting, he's just getting his feet wet, he's adapting. But if a guy comes in and he has a hot start, you're not saying he's doing a phenomenal job?
Okay, and so you think that he's the savior because he's done well in these 7 games
He's doing a phenomenal job. Keep at it. You have
so
to
far? Yeah.
you have to applaud. You keep at it by all means.
So
Like,
far, he's doing well. Yes.
yeah, so then keep at it,
Yeah. But then
right?
you can't go too high on the praise, and then you can't go too low on the criticism. Either way, that's what I said from the jump. Right? There's not enough of a sample size yet for us to swing it either way. You got to just let shit play out. And if you guys lose
Like,
tomorrow, people shouldn't call for his head because again, he's only
no one,
7 8 games in.
listen. No one's gonna call for his head if
Right.
there's a
But
loss
that's what I'm
tomorrow.
saying.
What we want to see is just the performance, and mind you, right? Again, because the numbers speak for themselves. Last game, his substitution alone contributed. I think was like three to four GAs. I think no, actually, I think it was three. Yeah, sorry, 3 goals and assists off his substitutions
Hmm.
alone, right? So yeah, remember that. I know you're you know hiding there in the corner, but just remember that, right? That this guy that has a shit CV is able to put up these kind of numbers, right? Under less than 10 games, and he's keeping us in it. Because under the other guy that you
Oh
guys
my
were,
gosh.
oh, Maresca this, Maresca that,
Ah,
we weren't winning. We were
You
not
guys, you're
winning.
so fucking ungrateful. I hate when you do
We
this.
were
Bro, that guy
not.
won.
wow.
You Chelsea fans are
We
so
were.
ungrateful, bro. You're not allowed to claim the stupid ass Club World Cup, Mini Cup, Mickey Mouse Cup, or Conference League Cup that you try and claim. That guy won you shit. How are you talking shit about him right now? This is what I hate about fucking Chelsea fans. You
You
guys are
gotta
so
keep.
fucking
You gotta.
ungrateful, bro.
You gotta keep
Short-minded.
winning. You gotta keep winning. You. You gotta keep winning. It's just
Was he
that
given
simple,
the chance to keep winning?
bro. You
You
got.
guys sacked
Yeah.
him after 5 games of poor
What do you,
form. Like,
bro? What do you want? The we bring in a new guy, and
who's
suddenly
done fuck all?
bro. Okay. Under that guy, we haven't won in how many games, bro? Under Maresca.
Laurent, the
And
most
then
impressive win out of this run is Napoli 3-2.
listen. At the end of the day, the 3 points, right? The 3 points, that's what matters. So
Someone say
yeah,
the trophies matter too, and Maresca got you guys trophies. And this is what you do. This is what you've done to all your managers over the last 20 years. They win you trophies, and after a couple bad games or a couple poor form, you guys bin them. I hate to see what kind of fucking relationship you Chelsea fans are in, bro. I feel bad for all your girlfriends,
Well,
man.
the test is coming for Liam Rosinia because February doesn't really have a test. After this FA Cup game, you guys go travel to Wolves. Then you guys host Leeds at home. Then you travel away to Hull City, and then you face Burnley at home. But in March 1st, you come to the Emirates. March 4th, you go to Villa Park. March 14th, you welcome Newcastle, and then March 21st, you go to Everton. And then April 11th, you go to City. Following week, sorry, City come to town, and the following week, United come to town. So the test and the tough games are coming. And the last 3 games of the season, you guys are away at Anfield, you're at home to Spurs, and away to Sunderland. So, this white patch, like CJ's been saying, enjoy it while it lasts, because it's coming to an end.
I'm curious. I'm curious to hear what you guys are gonna say then. But
I'll tell you what I will say now. Like personally, and again, I've said this. Either way, if he doesn't win a trophy this season, and honestly speaking, even if he doesn't get top four, he should not be sacked because he needs a full season, right? He came in partway through the season because Maresca did such a bad job, right? So this is not on the senior to this point; it's on the previous manager. So give him his full season to get things right, quote unquote. So if he doesn't get Champions League football or doesn't get a trophy, he doesn't get sacked. The same way, if he does win 6 games out of 7, or he does get top 4, he should not be praised as the next second coming of Christ. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's calm down either way. Let's wait till next season and see what will go on from there. But right, like for here and now, right, there's not a big enough sample size to say he is the man or isn't the man either way. That's my point.
I would disagree. I think he is the guy for us at this point.
Okay, based on what? Why?
I mean, just look at the way the players are playing, bro. Look at the way the
Oh
players
my
are playing.
gosh.
No, I'm being dead serious. I'm being dead serious. You want bro, we have not seen this kind of urgency. Frankly, I don't think I've seen this kind of urgency since the PSG game that we had where funny enough, we won the Club World Cup. Right?
So then, by
And
your count, Michael Carrick is an amazing coach because look at what he's done to the same exact players that Ruben Amorim had.
That's what I mean. Like everyone has a
no,
manager
no, no,
bounce.
no, 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 no.
See,
This is
now
not.
the bar changes.
This is and again, even this whole manager bounce. No, personally, I haven't dissected the Man United games to the degree that I have with the Chelsea game. So I can comment on the Chelsea game. I cannot comment on what's happening there at Man U.
You'd
and
be a
I've
very good press secretary or press agent
sure, but what I'm
because you dodge everything and their mother.
all right. Anywho, what I'm saying is this: is that so far so good. Keep it up. The decisions he's made have been fruitful for us, right? And he's got us back in form. Let's just say that he's got us back in form, which is not something that's easy to do. You guys like to paint it as if you bring any coach to a $2 billion team and suddenly they start winning games left and right, which is not the case.
I think what he's done so far is not hard for any decent manager to come in and do.
Nope. Heck,
With a
look,
$2 billion squad.
look at Real Madrid. How much is that club worth? How much is that club worth?
I don't even know. You guys are probably both worth the same, aren't
Huh?
you?
No, I mean that's serious. How much is that club worth? And look at the fiasco with the loss to Benfica. I think they had another loss domestically, right? So it's not easy. It's not easy.
CJ, what's your prediction?
Oh yeah. I do believe we'll win the game. And you know what? I do not think it's going to be easy. But I think either way will. By tomorrow night or by the next podcast, we'll be sitting here talking about Arsenal in a cup final. But I don't think we're going to make it easy for ourselves because we never do. But one way or another, we're going to be in that final. But yeah, Chelsea's going to put up a fight. It's going to be one of those games. You know, we'll like I said, we will make it hard for ourselves because we always do. And heck, I wouldn't even be surprised if Chelsea score like first, and make it a bit of a roller coaster of a game. But yeah, like I said, either way, we're going to get through that one, and it'll be, thanks for coming, nice try, but we'll see you guys on the other side. And again, with all due respect to Chelsea Football Club, they are in their transition under their Lord and Savior. So they'll come and they'll give it a go because again, they're still riding that wave, right? I don't care what anyone says, they're riding this bounce, this managerial bounce that he's coming in and he's instilling in the team this new lease of life, this lease of energy. And it's interesting actually, like they're really going for it. Because look how much players they rested on the weekend, and it is a sign of respect to us, obviously, as well, and the fact that also they want to come out and try and win this game, right? With the amount of players they rested on the weekend. So they're gonna come strong, right? So the message to us is that we need to come strong as well. And I know I didn't, which leads me nicely into rounding up the 11 because I didn't kind of finish off on that, but I do think we'll go strong in that back line. I think we ended up at left back, and I think I said, probably going to be between Nkappi and Lewis Kelly because Calafiori probably isn't fit enough to start. Maybe he'll stick with Nkappi, but again, he could opt for Miles as well. Either way, I'd be happy with it. In midfield, I think Zubi and Declan Rice will start. The question is who comes in that attacking midfield position. I know you think that, or whether you think or you said he should stick with the Havertz thing to go same as the weekend. I'm not sure he would do that simply because can Havertz start 3 games in a row after being off such a long term injury? He may not. He may not do that. Um, he may probably start with like an Ødegaard or something. And again, that's simply off of a fitness thing in terms of as far as Kai Havertz is concerned. So maybe he'll go back to the captain, the skipper. Um, and on the wings, yeah, you got to go Madueke, and you got to go. I would probably go Martinelli. Why not? You know,
Yeah, for the
he's been in
defensive work rate.
and he's
You
been in
play
better
Lewis
form.
Skelly.
Yeah, he's been in better form recently than Trossard. Trossard's been a little bit off it lately. And then you start the boy Yalk up top, Yalkerez, who has scored last time out against these guys. So hopefully Robert Sanchez comes to play this game and brings his his gloves because last time I think he brought his slippery rubbery ones to the bridge. So hopefully he brings his actual gloves this time around. Save a couple of shots. We were told that he's a really good shot stopper and all this stuff. So hopefully he comes to he shows up tomorrow for the sake of Chelsea. But yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good game, and we're looking forward to it. Laurent, but from your side, give us your assessment of how you guys are looking in the game and how you think you'll line up and what you're expecting from the Lord and Savior.
Let us take a moment of silence. But yeah, no, I mean, what I would hope from the instructions given by our manager before the game is that we come out firing on all cylinders. We make it very hard for Arsenal to play at home, and we come in with that same hunger that Chelsea is known to have over the years. Because if I'm being real, that hunger at the source of things, is driven by, for one, the titles. The players that come to this club, they understand what it means to win these big titles, whether they be European titles, whether they be Club World Cup titles, Premier League titles, right? That is what drives us at Chelsea, and I'm I wholeheartedly believe that if the players come out playing with that same tenacity, attitude that we've seen snippets of in the West Ham game, even in the PSG game of last year, that it will be a very hard game for Arsenal. Yeah, mark my words on that. And we may even see an extra time type of game, right? It goes straight to extra time.
Correct.
Sorry, no, it goes straight to PKs actually, no? Or is it
No, in the semis it goes extra time.
extra time? Okay, yeah. So yeah, we can see it go to extra time. Now, obviously, I did mention that our star boy, rightfully so, star boy. That term isn't to be used lightly with players. I mean, again, right? I don't know of a star boy who doesn't score in last of his 14 matches. Truly, because
Wow, man, look at this
that
recency bias, man. That's crazy.
it seems to me like a dying star, if anything. But anywho, um, he will not be playing. So that actually, I think, is going to be something that sets us up pretty badly. Because now, right, we're having to resort potentially on actually not even Giddens, because Giddens is also dealing with an injury. So what I think is going to happen was going to have Neto, and then I would actually like to see on the right Cole Palmer. I think that would be the best way to play it. And
He's not
with
gonna stub his toe before the game.
no. No. Come
He's
on,
not gonna catch a illness 24 hours before, or
nah, man.
no?
He's good. He's good. I think we're all good here. We just had WrestleMania 2027 here, and right, we came out unscathed, so we're good, man. We're good. But
Dignity is also a thing that one can lose in a fight.
right. It's funny because you say that, but I'm very curious because you mentioned what if the roles were reversed, and I'm thinking, damn man, what if that was like a Martin Odegaard, right, in the middle of that. how would he have reacted, right? And that's your
He would have
captain.
stood his ground.
Huh?
He would have stood his ground.
My gosh, man. He would have clutched his purse for his mace, bro. Try to mace a man like Adama Traore as no.
You don't need to project outwardly on what we observe with João Pedro.
Listen, I will tell you this. I will tell you this. That guy will be a problem for you tomorrow. So good luck with that. 9 goals, right? 9 goals in the Premier League, compared to your prize striker, that is Gyökeres, 6. So there are no comparison there. The football is just it's exquisite. It's exquisite. It's a different type of art, as I say, right? We have the Hazard. You guys have the Martinellis. Let's just leave it at that.
Same number
Yo,
of
no,
goals,
I can't even
less
have this,
Now,
bro. The
games.
way you're
now,
disrespecting our players is crazy work, bro. I can't even have this right now.
hold on. The same player that you guys weren't even backing like that many podcasts ago. Oh, look at this guy. He's never in the right position. He doesn't score this. He doesn't score that. So let's not
You have
pretend.
to understand the
Let
difference between critique though and not back. Obviously, we're supporting our players, but we have to critique them. We're not blindly supporting you
Hmm?
like you are with this Liam guy. You know what I mean? That's blind faith. That's blind. Like you have to be real. You have to give criticism when criticism is due, and that's what we're doing here. But I'll tell you this much: you cannot disrespect, especially the likes of Saka, who credit in the bank, right? You're talking about an Esteval who's just come to the league, right?
what
Saka's
has
been doing
what has
this.
Saka won? What has Saka won? Let's just end this. What has Saka won?
Well, hold on. What is Esteval won? What are you talking
Bro, the
about?
guy's 18. The guy's
Okay,
18. He
so how
just
are you
came. He
comparing
just
him?
came. No, no, but what has Saka won, bro? Saka has been established in this league. He plays for I don't know how many years he's played in England, right? What has he
Mhm.
won? If you're saying starboard this, starboard that, he should be playing on or he should be part of the like Murder I was trying to say the FIFA club team of the year. What has he won? What merits him being placed on that pedestal?
Well, and for one, you'll find out at the end of the season, and for two, if you're talking about the
Oh my
individual player, we're
gosh.
talking about individual accolades, right? Or when we're talking about the individual, there's no question. Saka's been doing this week in, week out. His individual accolades speak for themselves, right?
What
On
has
the
he won?
international stage, right? On the international stage, at club level, like his numbers and his individual accolades speak for himself. He gets into teams of the season, teams of the tournament, on club and country. You know what I
What
mean?
has
So
he won concretely? What has he won? All players that make it, like even the Hazard, right?
yes, you're
Hazard,
right.
it's the titles. It's the
Yeah,
titles.
you're
That's
right.
yeah. So all I'm asking is, what has your star boy won? The
Yes, and
credit,
he hasn't won yet. Of course, he hasn't won yet.
all right, bless, all right, bless. So that's it.
But then you're comparing him to your guys, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna
I'm just,
call your guys out and then compare them to ours, I mean, currently we sit top of the table, and you guys are scrambling for what, fourth, fifth? So you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure your players would swap to be where or our players are at this moment in time. So let's not do that.
$2 billion spent versus in a span of 2 years versus $1 billion spent in a span of 6 years.
mm,
You said that players come to Chelsea because of the winning mentality. No, players come to Chelsea to get an 8-year contract and sit on their ass, making sure that they get paid. A la Axel Disasi, a la Raheem Sterling. Shall I go on?
titles, bro, titles. Just remember that.
Okay. Yeah,
We
I'm
Yeah,
running
but you
back.
guys can't speak about that right now. If we're being real,
win titles. Club World Cup.
what? No, 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 no. You can't claim that, bro. You're literally
Club.
dissing your manager who's won that for you. I told you, you can't claim that if that's how you're gonna talk. You can't.
Oh, hold on. So yeah, my mouse is just moving on its own. But okay, let me just go back to our lineup before I got sidetracked here. Um, so yeah, Sanchez, obviously, top keeper, top keeper. Um, and then Delap, I think, is going to be the guy in the attack. I can't see. I don't think it'd be wise to put João Pedro there, seeing as how in recent form, right? He has performed well, playing in that creative role, right? Dropping deep. Um, and that's why I'm saying even for Palmer, because Palmer has not looked too good in the 10. So I think with Esteval's absence, Palmer will play on the right wing, and then we can put Pedro there in the 10. Um, for the defensive midfielders, obviously, I think Madueke is actually going to be he's going to get very well acquainted with our defensive midfielders this game, and I hope they give him the same kind of treatment they did the last time around. Um, and then
Who's it gonna be? Who's starting in there? Or
so
to your
I
predicted lineup?
I would put Caicedo and Fernandez.
Is Caicedo going to play the 90 minutes?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bro, we don't have disciplinary issues under this under the new Northern Savior, man. You know what I mean? It's a different iteration. How many red cards have we had? Have we had since?
Oh my god.
No, I'm asking you guys, right? Yeah, that's the answer. Zero. Now, in terms of the back line, Fofana 100%. Mr. Head and Shoulders on the left, Kukureya. Um, now,
Mr. Head and Shoulders.
in terms of who plays beside Fofana, I would like to see Travis Chalobah. I think he has earned his position there, and then Reece James. And I think, yeah, that's their strong 10 to go up against. And like I said, the energy is going to, if we come out, it's going to be very hard. And just the build up, right? No mistakes in the back, and I think offensively we have the ability to score. And sorry, Pedro Neto on the left wing. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, CJ, I'm assuming you got a Arsenal win.
Yes.
Well, in that case, you take us away, sir.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke a lot. We've said a lot on this podcast. There's a lot to discuss, a lot to dissect. And yeah, a nice cup games to look forward to this week. Two big semifinals. One way or another, one of us or both of us are going to be happy come Thursday. One of us, not both of us, are going to be disappointed come Thursday. We'll see. We'll see how things pan out. But yeah, it's exciting, man. We're getting, we're in February now, boys. Business end of the season is approaching, and I think we're almost a year into the podcast, into the birth of this podcast. So, pat on the back for y'all and for us getting to this point. It's been a long journey, and there's a long way to go. And yeah, we're excited. We're in a good time, and we're at a good part of the season. And long may the football continue. So continue to be with us, and make sure you like and subscribe, and all the usual nice YouTube-y stuff. And we're on all platforms as well as Spotify. So yeah, and catch us on our Instagram page, the Gunner's Corner. We put all that stuff in the descriptions as well. So yeah, thanks for being here.
On that bombshell, adios.
Up the Arsenal.